Portions of this podcast are made possible through the patronage of great people like At Lonely Bob, Big Albie, and Goldafish. Since we are trying to grow our podcast in every way possible, even if you can't be a patron, you can still help us grow by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the podcast.
You're short and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
Wow, the second I hit record on this, the wind starts blowing the flags so hard it's flapping in here crazy. Anyhow, it was up to you to come up with our next short topic, but you never came up with anything.
We're still doing short topics?
Sure, why not?
Oh.
I think of them as a conversation between friends.
Okay.
I mean, I realize that it's you and I talking and stuff, but, you know,
I'm your friend.
Yeah, sure. And so everybody else listening, I think of them as friends too, so...
Okay.
Whether we hear from them or not, it, feels like it's a discussion amongst friends.
Right.
Yeah. So, you never came up with a short topic for us. So
I didn't know I was supposed to. I'm sorry.
You absolutely are supposed to. I told you that before. But anyhow, because mine was such a struggle last time, I decided remember that whole fiasco?
I do.
I don't know if it was a fiasco.
It wasn't a fiasco.
Anyhow, all right. So here's my other short topic then.
Uh-oh.
My question. And this might be another non-starter here because sometimes you need time to think about these things.
Oh, no.
I'll spring a question on you and you're like, well, I can't answer that right now.
Yeah.
So this might be crap and I'll have to go at the end of the episode instead.
Okay.
So on the way home the other day, I heard something on the radio. I heard a piece of music.
Okay.
And I thought, I remember when I heard this, and I had to buy it. I had to go out and get it. That's unusual for me. I don't normally have to buy albums. I don't normally have to buy music. I don't have to. And it's not even anything that was that awesome or whatever, but at that time, I had to have it. Showed up to the record store as soon as I could.
Yeah.
To get it, and so on. And I'll tell you what it was in a minute. Stuff. Not that big a deal. That's almost not even the point. The point, though, is what have you in your life? Are there any things that are somewhat out of character for you that you've had to have and made a point to go to the store, to go to drive? There's maybe tons of things. Maybe you do it all the time. I'm thinking about that one or two things that maybe, though, aren't, that are the exception, that are like, because, I mean, I play Magic the Gathering, so, like, I'm always going to be out there to get that next box of Magic cards when they come out or whatever. I'll pre-order or whatever. I'm not talking about that. So, my example is, I heard Closing Time by Semisonic.
Okay.
Right? So I heard that, and I thought, you know what? I remember. I had heard that song. I really, I wanted to go out and buy Chemistry, the album. The CD is what I bought. But you know what I mean? Back when you still bought them, you know what I mean? Now everybody owns a copy, and it's just floating around out in the cloud, and nobody really owns things these days. But that's another story for another time. But, I had to have that. I went to the record store. I went to look for it. I didn't own anything else by them or by him, and so I had to have that. So that's my one example to start with. Is there anything you can
have more than one example?
Well, I'm always try to tie it back to a movie and stuff. We'll get to that in a minute, but I just wondered if there's something that you could name that was maybe out of the ordinary, but you just had to have it. Maybe this is a stupid idea too. I don't know. I'm going to end every one of these that same way.
Well, there was that time I bought that talking Teletubby doll. I had to have it. I had to have one that very instant.
Okay.
That being said, oh no.
That sounds like exactly what I was hoping to hear.
But I was
something off the wall that I had no idea about. Okay.
But that being said, that also sounds like something I would do. But that was an unplanned.
But why?
That was a total unplanned purchase.
Why a Teletubby? Why on earth did you need a Teletubby?
I don't know. I needed Lala, the yellow one. I just had to. I had to have it.
And
had to have a yellow talking Teletubby. I don't know.
Was it Was it a plushie that you got? I mean, was it a stuffed?
Yeah, it was a plushie. Yeah, the ones that you squeezed them and they said 3 or 4 different things.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know where I was I know where I was during the 90s, but that makes it sound, never mind. There's a whole bunch of things I missed, like Furbies are like 20 years old now this week or month or something like that.
Wow.
And I completely missed the Furby craze. And so I had no idea about the Teletubbies and so on, but you had to have that.
Yeah.
All right. So
I bought it.
Okay. Well, it got me thinking about that. Like, what else did I have to have? And I think I've probably mentioned this on the podcast before, but like I said, I always try to tie these back to movies. It was the first 5 minutes of Fight Club, sitting in the theater. I knew I had to own that.
Right.
I knew so much so that I showed up like a week early to try to get it at the video store.
Wow.
I tried, it was like, I knew what the release date was, but it was the release date just for it to go, that you could pick it up and stuff. Like, it was another week or another 2 weeks later or whatever before it was actually available for purchase. But I'm in the video store, like, trying to get a copy of it, to actually buy a copy of it.
That was me and Ravenous.
Ravenous, really?
And it was hard. It was hard for me to get a copy.
Yeah?
But yeah, that was something that I knew right away.
That you had to have it and stuff.
Yeah. I knew I would have it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've had quite a few, because I'm a music person, I've had quite a few moments like you did of...
But I mean...
You hear a song on the radio or whatever, and it's like, okay, I need to hear that again right now.
But I mean, that almost doesn't count because you did like or do like music and stuff, so that's something that would make sense and stuff.
Well, you used it as an example.
Well, because it was out of the ordinary for me.
Oh.
I didn't go out and get albums.
You don't like music very much.
Well, music is the one thing that we differ on a bit. We have enough common ground, so that's good. But I mean, Zeppelin is really overrated.
I'd hate to have your taste.
And,
I wish I could listen to Barenaked Ladies 100 times in a row and be just as happy as the first time. I think you have hearing damage or something.
Maybe some Ben Folds 5, perhaps, or... I mean, you don't appreciate Steely Dan for the awesome musicians that they are.
I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah. But anyhow...
What is this purple tree?
I don't know. We're getting off the subject, and maybe this is another ridiculous...
About?
I don't know. That was just my question. Gotta have it. What have you got to have that's outside of the realm of usual? I mean, there were other things that I needed, other music that I had to get or whatever, but like that was one thing that stood out for, that's what I was using the example for. And movies, I mean, sure, you got to get this movie, that movie, or whatever, but like within 5 minutes of Fight Club, I knew I was like, oh yeah, I got to own this. And same thing with Ravenous for you, and so on. But yeah, okay.
I don't know if my example was very good.
It's good enough. So anyhow, I put that out there to everybody else. What did you have to have, and why, that was maybe out of character for you?
See, that's where I think my example isn't that.
Well, a Teletubby. I mean, that's. I wasn't thinking about the movie.
Does that sound out of character for me?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit out of character. I mean, I don't know.
I like toys.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
I like cute things. I like things that talk.
All right. Well, now you've got to come up with a better short topic than I did.
You spring these on me, and it's always like, oh, well, surely I have some good things to say, but I don't know. I've made a lot of foolish purchases in my life, so I don't know.
All right.
The Teletubby probably was pretty foolish because I really didn't need it, and it was really expensive. And it wasn't anything I planned for, so
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, so as always, thanks to any patrons we might still have that are listening to this ridiculousness. Goldafish, at Lonely Bob, Big LV, you guys, and anybody that's listening to this. I don't know. You can always get in contact with us on Facebook. And if you go to the Facebook group and list anything that you have, maybe I'll put a special thing up or whatever. And like, what was it you had to have and why that was out of character? Anyhow, thanks for listening.